Welcome to this explainer. Today we're decoding the absolutely fascinating biology of intermittent fasting. It's wild, but the average adult today actually eats for roughly 15 hours out of the day. We are literally never letting our digestive systems rest. So if you're passionate about understanding how your body actually works, you are in the exact right place. This presentation is going to completely change how you think about metabolism, hunger, and long-term health. We're cutting through the internet noise and looking straight at the biological facts.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap. We'll start with the fasting misconception, map out the biological timeline, bust the muscle myth, lay out the 5 essential rules, figure out how to choose your method, and finally determine, is fasting actually for you?
Section 1. The fasting misconception. Reframing the starvation myth.
Listen, if you've tried fasting in the past and just felt completely miserable, or maybe you didn't see results and threw in the towel, it most likely wasn't your body failing you. You were probably just stuck in the myth of starvation. People tend to think fasting is just skipping meals and putting up with painful hunger to force the scale to drop. But the reality? It's so much more empowering. Fasting is a highly strategic biological tool. It's a really complex, delicate dialogue with your hormones. Your body doesn't just run on a simple calorie-counting math equation. It responds to very specific biological signals.
And to understand those signals, we really have to look at the main driver: insulin. Insulin is your body's crucial storage hormone. Whenever we eat, our blood sugar goes up, and insulin steps in to store that energy. But the problem is, in our modern world, we're eating constantly, right? Breakfast, snacks, sweet coffees, late-night dinners. This habit keeps your insulin constantly high, which effectively locks the doors to your fat reserves. You can exercise all you want, but if your insulin stays high, your body is biologically blocked from accessing and burning that stored fat. Fasting simply gives your body the necessary pause to let insulin drop and unlock those doors.
Section 2. The biological timeline. What happens inside your body? Let's move to the timeline and see how this builds.
This is where the biology gets really cool. From hours 0 to 4, you aren't really fasting at all. You're just quickly digesting the food you just ate. From hours 4 to 8, that food is gone, so your body rapidly shifts to using a temporary energy reserve called glycogen, which is stored right in your liver. By hours 8 to 12, those glycogen stores drop significantly. Now, you might feel your stomach rumble a bit here, but it's just a transition phase, because then the magic happens. Between 12 and 16 hours, your body heavily shifts into burning fat and converting it into ketones. Ketones are an incredibly efficient fuel source for your brain. This is exactly why so many people get a sudden wave of crystal clear mental focus during this specific window.
And if you hit the 16 to 20 hour mark, you trigger some incredible cognitive and cellular repair benefits. You enter this state of deep adaptation. First, you activate autophagy, which is basically your body's internal recycling program, hunting down damaged cells and replacing them with fresh new ones. You also get a massive boost in BDNF, a protein that builds new neural networks in your brain. This resulting drop in inflammation and cellular recycling isn't just some abstract wellness concept. It is a meticulously documented, scientifically proven biological process.
Section 3. The muscle myth. Will I lose my muscle?
We have to tackle this fear directly because it's huge. Does fasting cause your body to burn its own muscle for fuel? I mean, on the surface, it makes sense. If you don't eat, won't your body eat itself? But think about the brilliant evolutionary logic here. Muscle is essential for survival, hunting, gathering, running from danger. If humanity burned its muscle first every time food was scarce, our ancestors wouldn't have been able to outrun saber-toothed tigers. We literally would have gone extinct a long time ago.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what happens instead. During a fast, your human growth hormone levels don't just stay steady, they actually spike 3 to 5 times higher than normal. This massive surge acts as a strict biological command. It tells your body to heavily guard your muscle tissue while prioritizing stored fat as the primary fuel source. So as long as you're fasting and not starving long-term, your muscles are perfectly safe.
Section 4. The 5 essential rules. Safe and effective execution. All right, here are the 5 pillars for successful fast. But we really need to emphasize rule number 1 right away: hydration and electrolytes. Look, as your insulin drops, your kidneys naturally flush out more water and sodium. You absolutely must stay hydrated and replace those electrolytes, specifically sodium, magnesium, and potassium. If you don't, you're going to experience terrible headaches, dizziness, and intense fatigue. So many people mistakenly blame those awful, day-ruining symptoms on hunger, and they quit, when in reality, they just desperately needed some salt and water.
Now, what's really interesting here is understanding Rule 2, the psychology behind hunger.
Habitual hunger has a sudden onset. It hits you right at 12 p.m. because your brain simply knows it's lunchtime. But if you ignore it, it fades quickly. True biological hunger, however, is a gradual buildup. It's slow and completely lacks that sudden psychological panic. Learning to tell the difference between a passing psychological habit and an actual biological need for food will absolutely transform your fasting experience.
Rule 3 is all about how you end the fast. You absolutely must break it gently. After 16 hours of resting, shocking your digestive system with a massive, heavy, or sugary meal is going to cause severe bloating, nausea, and crippling post-meal fatigue. Don't do it. Instead, wake your digestion up smoothly. Opt for some warm soup, high-quality protein, and healthy fats. Ease the engine back into gear.
Section 5. Choosing your method. Finding your rhythm.
So, where should you start? The most highly recommended starting point is the 16-8 method. You fast for 16 hours, and remember, that total includes all the time you're sleeping, and you consume all your daily nutrition within an 8-hour window. This right here is the sweet spot. It drops insulin low enough for long enough to start that metabolic switching process, but without causing excessive stress to your body. It is incredibly sustainable.
And sustainability is the absolute key here. Methods like 16-8 or 18-6 drop insulin steadily and are super easy to maintain long-term. On the flip side, I want to strongly warn you against extreme internet trends like 1 meal a day or dry fasting, where people cut out water entirely. For beginners, these carry serious physiological dangers, including a very high risk of malnutrition, electrolyte collapse, severe kidney strain, and even heart issues. Fasting is about healing, guys, not pushing your body to dangerous extremes.
Section 6. Is fasting for you? Crucial exclusions.
Listen, knowing when not to fast is just as important as knowing how to fast. This is what separates responsible health education from reckless fads. The following groups should absolutely not practice intermittent fasting. If you're pregnant or nursing, your body requires a constant, stable flow of nutrients to support a growing life. If you're recovering from an eating disorder, fasting can be a dangerous psychological trigger. Diabetics taking insulin face severe risks of dangerous blood sugar drops and should only ever adjust their diet under strict medical supervision. Growing kids and teenagers need continuous energy for proper development. And lastly, if you take medication that has to be absorbed with food, you must prioritize the effectiveness of your treatment.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this really powerful thought. True health is not fighting your body, but stopping the interference with its natural processes. Intermittent fasting isn't some magic trick, and it certainly isn't a punishment. It's simply a way to step back, give your digestion a rest, and allow your incredible evolutionary biology to finally do its healing work. If we just listen to our bodies, we might find that less really is more. So the next time you feel that 12 p.m. hunger pang, ask yourself, is my body actually hungry, or is it just the clock telling me to eat? Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next explainer.